Well, hello there, my little black cats. Welcome to our first night at Kitten's Halloween Shriek Week. Our first story on the slab? A tale by Adamwalker about a young boy just discovering the dangers of talking to strangers. Word of advice, kids. Never trust a cloaked stranger, even on Halloween. Alright, where to begin? I'm 16 years old and my name is... Damn it! They call me Q13. I don't know why, but that's what they call me here. I'm currently in the mental institution of Yavapai County. I think it's in Prescott, Arizona. I know you'll ask why I'm here in the first place, and that's what my story is about. I can't remember much, but I'll try to explain the best I can. I apologize once more for not remembering my name, but I honestly can't. Not since it happened. It was Halloween last year that I remember it. I had just finished carving the jack-o'-lantern with my mom and started getting on my cultist costume. I loved H.P. Lovecraft and I wanted to dress up as one of the cult who worshipped the fictional god Cthulhu. When my friend Johnny came over dressed as Cousin It from the Addams Family, I'd gotten my cell phone and told my mom that I was going trick-or-treating with him. She told me to be careful before I left, and that was the last thing I had heard from her before I got institutionalized. We moved house by house for a couple of streets in the neighborhood, collecting as many sweets as we could, until we came to a large house on the right corner of the street. We knocked on the door. No one answered. Being decent kids, we decided to leave the house alone, but before we left, the door behind us opened. A woman wearing a cloak and a mask, bearing the sigil of the gateway, stood in the doorway. She told us to come back here so she can give us some more sweets. But I should have been more careful then. I still hadn't learned about child molesters yet, and if I had, I would have told Johnny that we needed to leave, but we still walked up to the doorway. Before we could even say trick or treat, she shoved 2 rags soaked in chloroform over our faces. I don't know exactly how long I was unconscious for, but when I came to, I found that we were tied to a table, and around us were people dressed in cloaks and wearing sigil masks. One of them was holding a large book. It was at this point that I can remember everything the cultists were saying while we were tied to the table. The leader was saying, "With the power of the Necronomicon and the sacrifice of these 7 souls, we shall complete our sacrifice to the almighty Cthulhu." I screamed in terror and tugged at the ropes while they began torturing other kids I could not see. But as hard as I tried to break them, the ropes were too tight. Then they came to Johnny, who was crying for his parents while the cultists chanted. And the leader spoke the words, "That which is not dead can eternal lie, and with the strange aeons even death may die. In his lair Cthulhu waits dreaming." The leader then raised a dagger into the air and plunged it into Johnny's heart. A look of utter terror etched on his face as life ebbed from his body. Screaming at the top of my lungs, I desperately yanked the ropes, trying to untie them. Then the leader came to me and read the passage from the Necronomicon again while the cultists continued chanting their unintelligible incantation. I froze in terror and awaited the killing blow of the dagger, but just before he stabbed me, there was a loud bang, and the leader fell to the floor with the bullet wound through his head. The other cultists then began yelling in fear and anger until one of them got up, grabbed the Necronomicon and the dagger, and shouted, "The sacrifice must be completed. Mighty Cthulhu must be sated. This child must die." The woman attempted to stab me, but the door was broken down and the cops burst in, arresting everyone. The cultists were shouting in foreign tongues while one of the deputies untied me and put me in the car. I guess they must have thought that I was one of them because of the costume. Or they didn't believe my testimony that they tried to sacrifice me to Cthulhu, but whatever the cause was, they sent me here to the mental institution. Please, believe me. Everything I have just... Please believe me. Everything I have just explained to you is true. In fact, the doctors here say that my amnesia was caused by a traumatic event, and I can assure you from that evidence that it is true. I'm afraid I'm not allowed to say anything else because the doctors won't let me, so I'll close with this. Be careful on Halloween night. And do not trust people who will invite you to the door. Happy Halloween.
Well, I'm not sure what to think about this whole situation. Then again, I'd be mentally traumatized too if I was about to be sacrificed to a Lovecraftian god. Oh well, as they say, life is suffering. I'll see you kitties next time on Kitten's Halloween Shriek Week. Stay tuned.